There are 6 levels of power, and you are standing on one of them right now. You did not choose it. It was assigned to you by other people, without a meeting, without a vote, and without anyone telling you it happened. And the men who assigned it have been charging you for it ever since. Before we climb, let us burn down what you think power is. Power is not the gym. There are men with 18-inch arms who cannot get a text back. Power is not money. There are men earning 6 figures who flinch when their phone rings because it might be their boss. Power is not confidence, whatever the seminars sold you. Confidence is a feeling, and feelings do not move men. Power is not being feared on the internet or loud at the table. The loudest man in the room is usually the most affordable one in it. And power is definitely not being respected for being good. Nobody respects a man for being good. They rely on him for it. Those are different transactions, and only one of them pays you. Here is what power actually is, and it will sound too simple until it ruins your week. Power runs on 2 questions. The first, what does it cost another man to move you, to use your time, to take your effort, to pull a reaction out of you? The second, what does it cost you to move things, to steer an outcome instead of accepting one, to see a manipulator's play while he is still making it, and let it die in the air, to make the room adjust to you, instead of spending your life adjusting to the room. Cheap to move and unable to move anything. That is the bottom of this ladder. Impossible to move and moving everything quietly. That is the top. And this week you published where you stand without knowing it. The message you answered in under a minute. That was a price. The work that landed on you at 4 on Friday and stayed. That was a price. The joke at your expense that you laughed at. That was a price, and it was the cheapest one of all. The outcome you saw coming, disagreed with, and let happen anyway. That was the second question, answered. You thought you were being decent. The room read it as a discount. Nobody exploits a man at random. They read the tag first, and your tag was written by you, in public. One small surrender at a time. 500 years ago, a Florentine named Machiavelli watched the most dangerous men in Europe do exactly this: price each other, buy each other, and destroy the ones who never learned they were for sale. This ladder is built from what he recorded and from 5 centuries of men proving him right. 6 levels. 6 prices a man can trade at. I will walk you through all 6, show you how to recognize each one in your own messages, your own meetings, your own family table, and show you the door out of each, because every level has a door, and every door has a cost. And I will walk you through history while we climb, because none of this is new. Men have been priced, bought, operated, and discarded for as long as there have been rooms to do it in. The greatest inventor of his age died at level 1. Rome's finest soldier was destroyed at level 2. The second most powerful man in England never made it past level 3. These are not stories. They are case files. And by the end of this video, you will read your own life the way I am about to read theirs. One warning before we start. There is a level on this ladder that feels exactly like winning and is actually the deepest trap on it. Most men die there, liked, praised, and owned. It is level 3, and when we reach it, you are going to recognize someone. One rule as we climb: where do you rank? Do not answer with where you want to be. Place yourself where your week says you are. The ladder does not read intentions, it reads receipts. Level 1. The man on the counter. He is the free sample, cut small, laid out in the open, and gone by noon. You know this man. You might be this man. He fixed the report that was not his to fix, and the person whose name went on it did not say thank you, because you do not thank a sample. He gave the advice that saved his friend's situation, and the friend took it the way you take a napkin, without looking at where it came from. He is available at any hour, calm in every crisis, agreeable in every argument, and he believes this is character. It is not character, it is pricing. He is not generous, he is unpriced. Generosity is choosing when to give. He never chooses. He is simply open, all day, to everyone, like a bowl of sweets left by the door. Here is the sentence he does not want to hear. Nobody made him do this. He put himself on the counter, portion by portion, and then wondered why the shop treated him like inventory. You were not being kind. You were being cheap. And the crowd around a free counter is never there for the man. It is there for the tray. And notice who has been taking from him all these years, not the best people. Whoever was closest. That is the rule he never saw. A man who charges gets to choose who he deals with. A man who gives everything free gets no choice at all. Anyone can take, so everyone does. Run the two questions on him. What does it cost to move him? Nothing. A request moves him. A sigh moves him. Silence moves him, because he rushes to fill it with help. And what does he move? Nothing. He has opinions and swallows them. He sees bad decisions forming and waters them anyway. He is the most useful man in every room and the least consulted. Useful and powerful are not the same thing. Most days, they are opposites. History keeps a file on this level, and the saddest page in it belongs to a genius. Nikola Tesla designed the alternating current that lights the world tonight. He held a royalty contract with Westinghouse that would have made him one of the richest men alive. And when the company hit trouble, Tesla tore the contract up with his own hands. To be helpful, to be decent, to be a good man to a friend, the world did not punish his genius. The world consumed his generosity. Other men built empires on his current, while he grew old in a hotel room, feeding pigeons, priced at exactly what he had charged. Nothing. The lesson is not that giving is weakness. The lesson is that a gift with no price attached is not received as a gift. It is received as a supply. The door out of this level costs one word, and the word is no. Not a speech, not a boycott. One refused request, held without apology, and the counter closes for the first time in years. They will call it selfish. Of course they will. The people who shopped free always audit the shop that starts charging. Let them talk. Type this if the counter is closing today. My effort is my gold. Level 2. The vending machine. He made it off the counter. He has a price now. That is the progress, and that is the problem, because the price is small, fixed, and posted on the glass where everyone can read it. Watch his week. A message lands at 9 at night, written in that tone, and his chest tightens on schedule. A comment at the family table pokes the same old spot, and out comes the same old defense, word for word, like a receipt printing. A colleague needles him in the meeting, mild enough to deny, sharp enough to work, and the machine pays out. The flush, the fast reply, the hour of internal argument afterward. Coin in, reaction out, exact change every time. He thinks he has a temper. He does not have a temper. He has a menu. This is the level where manipulators do their shopping, because a predictable man is not an opponent, he is an appliance. They do not need to defeat him, they need to operate him. And the controls are cheap. One insult buys his evening, one compliment buys his weekend, one guilt trip buys his Saturday, and the van he will drive to help them move. The worst of it is at the family table, because family owns the oldest manual for the machine. They installed the buttons decades ago, and they press them with a casualness that looks like innocence. The nickname that shrinks him, the story from when he was 12, the comparison to the cousin, press, pay out, press, pay out. He drives home from every gathering having spent 3 hours being operated by people who would swear on their lives they were just talking. And the proof that it is operation, not conversation, is simple. They never press those buttons on the relative who does not pay out. The machine gets pressed, the vault gets small talk. The family adjusted to each man's price years ago, which means the prices were always real and always negotiable, and he never negotiated his. Rome owned the finest machine ever built. His name was Coriolanus, the greatest soldier of his generation. The tribunes who wanted him gone never drew a sword. They studied him instead, found the button marked pride, and staged an insult in the public forum on a day the whole city was watching. He detonated on cue, said everything they needed him to say, and Rome banished its best defender by his own mouth. The most dangerous man in the Republic was operated in public, like a machine, by men who could not have lasted 10 seconds against him in the field. They did not beat him, they pressed him. If this level is yours, I have already built you the way out. The last video on this channel, Machiavelli's Law of Menace, is 7 silent behaviors that shut this exact machine down, one payout at a time. Watch it after this one. For now, hold the one truth that starts the exit. Your reaction is the product. Stop manufacturing it on demand, and the customers stop coming. Type it if the payouts stop today. My peace cannot be bought. Level 3, the Golden Retriever. Now we reach the trap, and I want you to slow down here, because this is the level that feels exactly like winning. He is out of free, he is out of reactive, and he has arrived somewhere warm. He is liked, genuinely liked, praised in meetings, needed by everyone. First name on the invitation, first call in the crisis. His boss calls him a rock, his family calls him the reliable one, his friends call him a legend. And every one of those compliments is a leash with better marketing. Watch how his week actually works. He gets chosen for the extra work, and he is told it is because he is the best. But it is because he is the best who will not say no. He hears you are the only one I trust with this, and it lands like an honor, but it is an invoice. He is praised exactly when more is needed from him, and never 1 minute before. Throw, fetch, reward. Throw, fetch, reward. He has confused applause with payment his whole adult life, and the difference is everything. Applause costs the audience nothing, and it is the only currency he has ever asked for. Here is the coldest sentence in this video, so take it slowly. They do not love him, they love his output. Everyone's favorite is nobody's equal. A man cannot be both the room's darling and the room's peer, because darling is a role, and roles are assigned by owners. From inside, this level looks like success. The warmth is real, the invitations are real, the praise is real. That is precisely what makes it the deepest trap on the ladder. The free sample knows something is wrong. The vending machine feels the pressing. The retriever defends the leash, because the leash is the nicest thing anyone ever gave him. I told you at the start of this video that when we reached level 3, You would recognize someone. Maybe it is the colleague whose reliability gets spent like office stationery. Maybe it is your father, the rock, the reliable one, 40 years of fetching and a retirement card to show for it. And maybe, and sit still for this one, the reason this level is taking longer than the others is that the description has been getting warmer and warmer, and somewhere in the last minute it arrived at your own front door. If it did, do not look away from it. Recognition is the toll for this section of the ladder, and every man watching pays it or stays. England once employed the finest retriever in its history. Cardinal Wolsey ran the country for Henry VIII, delivering every want the king could invent: palaces, treaties, money, wars. He was beloved, rewarded, the second most powerful man in the kingdom. Then came the one fetch he could not complete, the king's annulment, and the indispensable man was stripped of everything in a single season. Dying in disgrace, he said the only honest sentence of his career, had he served God as diligently as he served the king, he would not have been given over in his grey hairs. A lifetime of perfect fetching, and it bought him nothing. Fetching buys affection, and affection is revoked by the same hand that grants it. Stop the ladder for a moment. You have seen 3 levels. Type where you actually are, 1 to 6, in the comments, not where you intend to be by December, where your last 7 days say you are. The man who names his level out loud is the man who starts leaving it. The door out of level 3 is the hardest one on the ladder because it is the only door where the room fights to keep you inside. The day the retriever stops fetching, the warmth drops, and he learns in 1 week which relationships were with him and which were with his output. That knowledge is expensive. It is also the purchase price of every level above this one. Type it if you are ready to know. I perform for no one. Level 4. The vault. The ladder turns cold here, and so do we. Everything below this line was about what other men could get out of him. Everything above it is about what they cannot. The vault is the first man on the ladder who cannot be priced, because he cannot be read, and you cannot put a tag on what you cannot see. Watch him in the same rooms that operated the men below. The jab lands, and there is a pause, 2 seconds, flat and unhurried, and then he responds to something else or to nothing. The question comes, angle to hook him, and he answers the surface and declines the hook. The provocation that used to buy an evening of him now buys a level look and a subject change. He is not cold to be cruel. He is closed the way a vault is closed, not angrily, just professionally. Everyone knows there is value inside. Nobody has seen it, and unknown is expensive. A room full of readable men treats the unreadable one like weather they cannot forecast, and men are careful in weather they cannot forecast. Notice what has happened to the 2 questions. What does it cost to move him? Nobody knows anymore, and not knowing is itself a price too high for casual predators who move on to machines with menus. And for the first time on the ladder, he has started moving outcomes, not by pushing, but by refusing to be pushed. Because a man who cannot be steered forces every plan in the room to root around him, and the man everything roots around is already shaping the map. You can measure this level by what happens to a room when he enters it. Conversations do not stop, but they straighten. The joker recalibrates his material. The schemer postpones his pitch, because pitches need a reading of the audience, and this audience returns no reading. Nobody in the room could tell you what the vault would do if crossed, and that is the entire deterrent. The The machine's price was posted on the glass for anyone to read. The vault's price is a rumor, and a rumor is always assumed to be higher than the truth. Men pay more respect to what they cannot check. In 1812, Napoleon marched the largest army ever assembled into Russia with a plan that required exactly one thing: a reaction. Give him a battle, and he wins the war. The Russian command handed the problem to Kutuzov, an old, heavy, one-eyed general whom the court mocked as passive. Kutuzov declined to provide the reaction. He traded ground for time, ignored the taunts, ignored his own officers begging him to fight, and let the Russian winter do the fighting for him. The most provoking man in history spent 6 months pressing a machine that never paid out, and walked home through the snow with nothing. The court called Kutuzov unreadable, slow, cowardly. The court was reading him wrong, which was the entire method. The vault's vow is not silence for its own sake. It is ownership of the one asset every level below him gave away free, his inner state. Type it when the door swings shut. My mind is my vault. One question before the last 2 levels, and it unlocks the whole bottom half of the ladder. Who benefits? Who benefits from you believing that power is the gym, the salary, the confidence course, the being liked? Follow the money honestly. The men selling the supplements benefit, the seminars benefit. The employers benefit most of all, because a man chasing applause works twice as hard for half the price. And a man who thinks likability is power will never ask why the likable are always the ones carrying the boxes. The misconceptions you burned down in the first 2 minutes were not innocent errors. They were advertising, and the product being advertised was you, at a discount, to everyone upstairs. Nobody upstairs wants you reading the price list, which is what the top of this ladder does for a living. Level 5. The Landlord. The vault protects his own ground. The landlord owns the ground other men stand on. Here the game changes shape. Every level below competes inside the room. The landlord is the room. He does not argue about the rules. He writes the lease, and the lease argues for him. Every day, whether he attends or not, you have met this man, or at least felt him. He is the one whose name is on the meeting everyone spends 2 days preparing for. The one who never negotiates his rates, because he sets them. The one who wins arguments he was not present at, because the structure he built was present. Run the questions. What does it cost to move him? You would have to leave the building, and the building is where everything you need lives. What does he move? Terms. And terms move everything else. Because the man who moves terms moves 10,000 decisions he will never have to witness. Florence, the city Machiavelli grew up in, was owned by exactly this kind of man. Cosimo de' Medici held no crown, no title, no throne. He was, on paper, a banker. But the government met in buildings he paid for, the state borrowed money he controlled, and the men who ran the city were men he had quietly made. His rivals understood the threat and exiled him. Within a year, Florence learned that its economy had left with him, begged him back, and exiled the men who had exiled him. He returned without an army and ruled for 30 years without holding office. The tenants fought over the rooms. The landlord collected either way. The landlord's exit from level 4 was the decision to stop winning games and start owning venues. And you do not need a bank in Florence to make it. Every field has ground worth owning. The engineer who wrote the system everyone's code must pass through, landlord. The one person in the family who runs the group chat where decisions actually happen before anyone announces them, landlord. Own the thing others must use, and you stop chasing individual wins, because the rent arrives with every game played on your ground, won or lost. Build the skill they must consult, the room they must book, the standard they must meet. It takes years, and that is the moat. What takes years to build takes years for anyone to replace. Type it when the lease is yours. My terms are the terms. Level 6. The Kingmaker. At the top of the ladder there is no throne. That surprises people. It should not, because you have watched 5 levels of this video establish one law. Whatever is visible can be priced, and whatever can be priced can be bought or broken. A throne is the most visible object in any kingdom, which is why the top of the ladder does not sit on thrones. It decides who does. England named this level for us. Warwick, the 16th Earl, crowned one King of England, deposed him, and restored another, and history filed him under the only title that fit, the Kingmaker. But the perfected form of this level lived 2,000 years earlier, on another continent. An emperor once insulted a scholar named Chanakya and threw him out of court. It was the most expensive insult in the history of empires. Chanakya did not petition and did not protest. He found a boy, Chandragupta, and built him, trained him, funded him, engineered alliances, and dismantled the reigning dynasty piece by piece, until the boy sat on the throne of the largest state India had ever seen. Then Chanakya wrote the manual, the Arthashastra, the science of power itself, and withdrew from view. The king wore the crown, the weight, and the target. The teacher kept the pen. One man sat on the throne. The other had decided there would be one. He chose his level, and it was above the king's. Understand what the Kingmaker actually trades in, because it is the final answer to the 2 questions. What does it cost to move him? It cannot be calculated, and what cannot be calculated is not attempted. What does he move? He moves who rules. Not outcomes, not terms, the people who set terms. He is the last level because there is nothing above the man who staffs the top. And before you file this level under ancient history, translate it. The investor who decides which founder gets to play king this decade, Kingmaker. The veteran who quietly decides which of the young men around him gets built, introduced, and backed, Kingmaker. The mentor whose one phone call turns a candidate into an appointment, Kingmaker. At every scale, the pattern holds. The visible seat gets the applause and the arrows, and somewhere behind it stands the person who filled the seat, collecting neither, needing neither. And here is the question the Kingmaker leaves you with, the question this whole ladder has been climbing toward. If the man at the top makes kings, then what does a king actually do with the power he is handed? How does a man carry a crown without becoming the lightning rod every level of this video warned about? Machiavelli wrote the answer, not quotes about him, the actual manual written for a new prince holding new power. That restoration is the next video on this channel, and it is the natural sequel to this one, because the ladder you just climbed ends at the man who makes kings, and the only step left is learning what a king is for. Type the Kingmaker's vow if the top is where you are headed. I make kings. Before the master key, the deployment, because a ladder you never climb is just scenery. Start by placing yourself honestly, not where your ambition says, where the receipts say. Then attack the level you are on, not the level you want, because skipped levels collapse. A free sample who tries to jump straight to Landlord becomes a man with no clients instead of a man with terms. The climb is sequential because each level trains the exact muscle the next one demands. Learning to say no at level 1 is what makes you hard to provoke at level 2. Being hard to provoke is what makes you able to stop performing at level 3. Every stage builds on the one before it. Skip one, and the whole thing stands on air. And expect the tax. Every level charges an exit fee, and it is always social. Close the counter and be called selfish. Shut the machine and be called cold. Drop the ball and be called changed, which is the accusation people make when a price goes up and they preferred the old one. Hold anyway. The protest is the proof. Nobody audits a shop that was always charging. They only audit the one that stopped being free, and the loudness of the audit tells you exactly how good the deal used to be for them. So, 6 levels. The free sample, gone by noon. The vending machine, operated for coins. The golden retriever, applauded and owned. The vault, unread and unpriced. The landlord, collecting on terms. The Kingmaker, staffing thrones. Now the master key, and it is smaller than you expected. The ladder is not 6 skills, it is 1 skill, performed at 6 magnitudes, and the skill is pricing. The free sample never priced himself, so the room did it for him at 0. The vending machine let the room set his price, small and fixed. The retriever priced himself in applause, the one currency that costs the payer nothing. The vault made his price unknowable. The landlord priced the ground. The Kingmaker prices kingdoms. 6 levels, 1 decision, made larger each time. Who writes your tag, the room or you? Which returns us to the first sentence of this video. Your level was assigned to you by other people without a meeting. Here is what the ladder taught you since then. The assignment was only ever valid because you never contested it. The room priced you because the room was allowed to. Every level of this climb is the same contest, repeated at higher stakes, and it begins with a decision that costs nothing and changes everything. He chose his level. That was Chanakya in 1 sentence. A thrown-out scholar who decided the insult was not the final price. Choose your level. That is the instruction, and your week, not your intentions, will show whether you followed it. Do not announce the climb. Announced climbs get taxed, and taxed climbs get sabotaged, because the people holding your old price will fight for it harder than you ever fought for a new one. Just close the counter, shut the machine, drop the ball, seal the vault, write the lease, and keep the pen. The room will notice on its own. Rooms always notice. They just pay the new price faster than they admit, and they respect it longer than they say. Type it once, in the comments, where the other men climbing can see it. I choose my level. Then prove it somewhere no one can see it at all, because the ladder does not read comments either. It reads receipts. This is your cold awakening.